Hey there, I'm Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make our area such a great place to live. Today I have Sebastian Rusk with me, and I am so excited to find out more about how he is helping entrepreneurs all over the world. So, Sebastian, thanks for being here.
Holly, what's happening? Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Well, I'm honored. I'm like a little bit tongue-tied, but go ahead and share with my audience a little bit about how you help people. What do you do?
So I help people for the past decade. I've had the unique opportunity of helping business owners, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs radically change their life and their business by starting a podcast. And I'm qualified to do that because I've actually lived that for the past 15 years. I've starting a podcast. When I first started my business, that's all I had. Didn't have any money, didn't have any many resources, but I had some talent and the gift of gab and the opportunity to be able to have conversations with people. Never in a million years did I think I would end up turning that into a business. I started in 2009 with a digital agency, and right in the beginning of the social media world. And then 6 years into it, decided I hated everything that I did and I needed to niche down, and ran into an old friend and they said, "Hey, can you help me start a podcast?" And I was like, "Actually, I can." So that was late 2016, and I literally have not looked back since. We help people launch in 90 days or less. It's a done for you solution. They record, my team takes care of the rest, and then we support them ongoing on a monthly basis with micro content and producing 4 episodes for them. The goal, Holly, is to be able to interview people that you want to do business with, that you want to build a relationship with. And the secondary component is being able to repurpose content from each podcast episode so that you're showing up in the news feed where the eyeballs are at, so people know about you and you position yourself as the authority within your industry and field and what you do.
Well, amazing. I love that. And it's so cool that you took something that was just like almost a hobby for you, just like a passion, and you turned it into a business. I think a lot of people will resonate with that because in Orange County, we have a lot of entrepreneurs. I know you lived in Orange County for a while.
Yep, I sure did. Yeah, it was my 10-year Southern California vacation, I called it, you know?
Yes.
Now I'm in Miami. I think Newport and Costa Mesa would be a little bit more laid back and chilled than this rat race down here. But I make it back from time to time, and I had just an incredible experience out there. My daughter was 1 when we moved there, and went to up until the middle of first grade, and then the market fell out. And well, I owned an agency out there that helped realtors and mortgage brokers with inbound lead generation. So obviously 2008 happened. Banks stopped lending. There was nobody to sell a house to, and I had nobody to sell my services to. So Newport's a real expensive place to be when the bottom's falling out.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what was your podcast about when you first started?
When it first started, gosh, I've rebranded it 3 times. It was called Social Buzz On Air because my first company was called Social Buzz TV, and it was on a platform called Blog Talk Radio, which allowed me to have a live radio show on the internet. And I grew up in a radio station. My dad was a DJ for 30 years. I had no desire to follow in his footsteps, but like a friend told me on the golf course a few years ago when I shared that story, he said, "Man, our genes sure are powerful, aren't they?" I said, "I don't know a damn thing about genes, but my grandfather's name was Gene. Maybe that's relative."
Well, this is a perfect parlay because you tie your, comedic skill set into what you do. So, do you have I mean, have you been a stand-up comic? Like, where did all of this come from?
So I was terrified of it. I've been a professional keynote speaker for the past since 2009.
Hmm.
And I can go deliver a keynote in front of 5,000 people or host an event or moderate a panel or do all the things as a communicator, but ask me to get up in front of 50 drunk people and make them laugh, and I was out. So about 4.5 years ago, I had my buddy Manny Garavito, who's the founder of Miami Comedy, on my podcast, and I shared that story. And he was like, "Dude, there's no way that you're scared to do comedy. Like, I've been following you. I actually know who you are." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Hey, why don't you come out to an open mic next week? You can bring your post-it note, whatever you want to do. It's a 5-minute set. Just give it a shot." And I had done a couple of open mics. So I said, "Hey, you know what? What the hell? Let's do it." So I showed up, and he said, "Hey, man, great to see you. Thanks for coming. You're third up." And I'm like, "Cool." Like on the open mic list, right? When you get to an open mic, you put your name down on the list, and good luck. And he said, "No, you're in the showcase. Don't bomb." And I went up and did a 7-minute set and just knocked it out of the park. And I was like, "You know what? We're adding comedian to the resume." And I don't do shows that often. I don't do clubs that often. It's more integrated into my speaking. It's more of the, like, it was a personal thing. Like, can I do it? And I did it. I probably could be more consistent with it, but I don't have that itch to like become the next best comedian out there. I want to be funny at all times, and I want to be funny in life. I want to be funny with the talks that I give. The beautiful art of being able to make people laugh is incredibly healing, incredibly impactful. And it's just it's just a trait that I want to be able to have. You should see how people light up when they're like, what are you? I'm like, I'm a keynote speaker and comedian and podcaster, all terrible career choices, but I got lucky.
Well, I think, like you said, I mean, it does light people up when they, first of all, being a comedian or telling jokes in front of a room full of people, that is like the worst fear for so many people, like it was for you. And when you are able to make people laugh and capture their attention, I mean, you're really able to emotionally hit them, which
Yeah,
is memorable, right? Like, so people are going to remember you. They're going to listen a little bit more intently. You're very
sure.
witty, so you have to like listen
Yeah,
twice as hard to catch what you're
absolutely.
saying.
Sure.
So as far as your podcast business goes, where you're helping entrepreneurs, do you have a specific niche that you work with, or do you really help any industry with doing their podcast for, gaining relationships in business?
Yeah, without sounding broad, podcasting is so popular right now, and it's so important, I believe, with businesses and with this content era that we're living in. I'm very picky with who we decide to work with. They have to get excited about me. I have to get excited about them. I have to be able to share, we have to have a shared vision on what we can do. So
Yeah.
not everyone is a fit, but any business that is currently networking, creating content, trying to bring in new business, which is a majority of all of them, are a fit to start a podcast. So I don't really niche myself down into any specific area. It's just whether or not it's a fit based on the conversation that we have initially.
Yeah, I am curious your viewpoint of how does podcasting fit into like our current marketing plan for general, for businesses in general. Do you feel like that's more important than certain things of the past that were, very important? Like obviously we're getting away from like newspapers and print marketing and whatnot, but like, do you feel like a podcast is one of those pillars that most businesses should be taking advantage of right now?
100%. I mean, it gives you the opportunity. If I meet you at a networking event and we're at Billy's at the beach and I hand you my business card and you hand me yours and I say, you know what, Holly, I'd love to get you on my podcast. Before I ask you anything, before you tell me whether or not I should buy or sell a piece of real estate at all, I'm doing something for you. I'm reaching out to you and saying, hey, I want to do something for you first. Because
Yeah.
I know if I get you on a podcast episode, just like we're doing right now, I'm going to get to know you better. I'm going to build rapport with you. I'm doing something for you. At the onset of things. And then as things progress, it's like, hey, how can we help each other? Sebastian, I've been thinking about starting a podcast for a long time. This is obviously divine intervention here that we ended up connecting on here. Let's have a conversation about what's possible, and you may end up hiring me.
It is a great way to connect. And it's also, much better in many ways than like that coffee meeting that people do or have done in the past and still do, but it allows you to connect on another level. It's not so surface. You're actually getting deeper with people and finding out more about what's important to them, because we all know when you're meeting with people, when you're networking, listening is so important. So the fact that I'm getting to learn so much from you, and I'm so excited to come on your podcast too, you'll learn more about me, but
Yeah.
it's a good relationship builder.
It really is. It's solid, and it's a content plan, a relationship builder. If that's the only reason you start a podcast, it's winner, winner, chicken dinner every single time, because you're not trying to be the next Joe Rogan and have a million downloads and sponsorships and all that stuff. All of those things can come and can happen and have happened in our experience of working with people. But if you just on the onset go, this thing is going to be a revenue generating tool, a business development tool, and a relationship bridge building tool, what more do you want?
Yes. No, love that. I think that's really great information for a lot of people to have their businesses. I mean, wherever they are able to connect with people all over the world. I mean, it's really a great platform for that. It's much better than saying, "Hey, I'm just gonna put my ad in like this magazine that's gonna hit this certain area," because this can literally reach people all over the globe.
Correct.
So what happened? Just curious. So you had your Social Buzz TV podcast, and then what next? I mean, just very broad strokes, but how did you get from there to where you are now?
So in 2008, I moved back. 2008 to 2010, I was a non-contributing member to society. I just was like, I can't believe that I got to the top of the mountain and I'm on the bottom now. I don't know what's next for me. And I had an awakening moment one day and I woke up and I said, I need to go see Tony Robbins. I need to go waken the giant within. So I called my friend that worked for Tony at the time, lived in San Diego, and she gave me all the details. And she said the next Unleash the Power in event is going to be in Long Beach this summer. Here's the details. I have like $6 to my name, so I don't know how that's going to happen and take place. But I put it out there. The intention was set, and she calls me back in about an hour later, and she was like, "Oh my God, I totally forgot that my best friend lives on Miami Beach. She's part of Tony's core team of 6, and she travels the world with him. I think it'd be a great connect for you. Let me make an introduction." And she did that, and we met that Friday, and for a drink, and hit it off almost immediately. And she said, "So what's next?" And I said, "I don't know." And she looked at me dead in the eyes and said, "That's a problem." That's the PG version of what she said. So these are my offended days. So first I'm like, I just met this broad. She's telling me what I'm doing with my life is a problem. Well, listen, she works for Tony Robbins and travels with you. You might want to zip it because you have minus $6 and she may have something there for you. And I said, "So what do you mean by that?" She said, "I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Who's missing out? Because you're not showing up."
Mm.
And I thought, whoa, antennas went up. She's like, you're fully engulfed in social media. You could start a social media company. You can start a YouTube channel. You do like all the things with your talent, but you're not doing anything. So like, why not? That Monday, I had conceptualized what would be Social Buzz TV, and I started running around town with my bus pass and a skateboard, evangelizing exactly what we're doing. And shortly thereafter, I met a guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary and I became just incredible friends, and he became just an integral part in my journey and my path, and an incredible mentor, and really helped me better understand what it looked like to build a personal brand in addition to a business. He said, "Sebastian, your personal brand in perpetuity is your reputation." This is 2010. People were like, "Personal what?"
Yeah.
So I built Social Buzz TV, and we had a good run. I continued my speaking career, wrote my first book, Social Media Sucks If You Don't Know What You're Doing. I started emceeing events. I was flying all across the country, doing all the things, but I wasn't happy. And in 2016, I decided that I needed a girlfriend. So I jumped on a dating app and found a girlfriend. And shortly thereafter, she introduced me into a personal development course that she was in. The program's no longer around, but it was clear why she was in my life to get me through those doors. And I went through that 8-day program, and I realized that I didn't hate what I was doing. I hated myself. And when you hate yourself, you hate everything in your path and everything going on. You can't be deeply passionate about that. And more importantly, you can't attract the love that you so deeply seek. And when I learned that, I came out of that program, number one, learning how to love myself. Number two, fully accountable for past, present, and future. We're done blaming mom and dad. What happened is what happened. They did the best they could at the time they had, and that's it. What am I going to do with it now? And then forgiveness, true, embracing the fact of true forgiveness and people who wronged me, and being able to say, "I forgive you," and learning that true forgiveness means waiving the right to ever bring it up again. And that's a very difficult conversation for people. So when I came out of that, she broke up with me in the middle of the program, as if personal development's not hard enough. Let's throw a little bit of heartbreak in the mix there. And so I came out of that, and I was like, time to dust myself off again. I went and got a desk at a co-working space around the corner, and that's where I ran into my friend in the elevator. And she was like, "Hey, can you help me start a podcast?" And I'm like, "Actually, I can." Because I'm like, how do I leave the social media world but still stay in it? I'm like, well, podcasting has to do with it, so let's niche down. And literally, that was like October 2016. I literally have not looked back since, and we've grown this into a multiple 6-figure agency. I only do speaking, comedy from time to time, and launch podcasts. If it's not those 3 things, I'm just not leaving the house, and it served me very, very well. And just grateful for everything that's taken place. I spent 18 years raising my daughter on my own and getting her off to college, and she's thriving now and got her undergrad and finishing her master's, and lives in Dallas. And now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up.
I love that there were so many powerful moments and lessons in what you just said. Like I feel like I just inhaled a whole bunch of self-development.
Good.
So
Good.
amazing. Sebastian, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
where can people find you if they want to connect with you about your agency work and all of that?
Instagram's the best place. And if it's okay with you, I got a free gift for your audience.
Yes.
So if you follow me, it's at Podcast Suck I'm sure that Holly will put that in the description of this podcast episode, make it easy for you. You can search for me by name, Sebastian Rusk. That's podcasts plural. Podcasts suck. Send me a direct message with the word Holly, and I'll reply back with a free gift for you. Help you get your podcast equipment game in check on there.
I love that. Thank you so much, Sebastian. It was a pleasure having you.
The pleasure was all mine. Thanks, Holly.
Thanks. Okay, I'm going to end it.